Hello and welcome to another video with me, Christian Rauchenwald. Now in today's video we are going to take a closer look at Phoneum, another mobile application that you can install currently on your Android phone and depending on the country you're in also on your iOS device that allows you to earn a cryptocurrency called Phoneum basically by pushing a button. Now, unlike other apps like Pi Network, B Network and so on, Phoneum is already a real cryptocurrency. It's the Phoneum token. And you don't have to push the button once per day, but you only have to push it once per week. Phoneum is a Tron-based token that you can currently exchange and trade on the Probit exchange, so it's not currently listed on Binance, Crypto.com or any of the other major exchanges. And according to CoinMarketCap, the current value of Phoneum tokens is $0.0002867 per token. Another important number when we talk about the Phoneum token would be the max supply. The maximum or total supply of Phoneum is supposed to be 5 billion tokens, and at the moment there is roughly 1 billion tokens in circulation, which means that around 22% of the total supply of the token are currently circulating, and another roughly 4 billion tokens are still left and not in circulation. So with that, we already see that there's a lot of difference between many projects that we reviewed recently and Phoneum, because it is already a real cryptocurrency. There is already an exchange that you can trade it on and use it on. And Phoneum has some kind of real world appliance. Phoneum basically aims to become a cryptocurrency among mobile applications, and they also have a few of their own apps like Crypto Treasure, for example, that you can download on Android as well, where you can basically play a game or play multiple games and earn Phoneum as well. And in the long run, you're supposed to be able to use Phoneum in other apps as well for things like in-app purchases. However, that already brings me to one of the biggest flaws that I personally see with the project, and that is that iOS or Apple will not be happy about it, because if you allow your users within an iOS application to basically circumvent the regular Apple Pay flow, then your app will likely get delisted. If we, for example, look back to last year when Epic Games introduced some features that would allow users to pay while circumventing Apple's Apple Pay feature, and as a result there's now a lawsuit between Epic Games and Apple threatened to take down and even close the entire Epic Games Apple account. So you see that in the long run, I don't think that Phoneum will have a bright future ahead on iOS devices, simply because the idea of accepting payments or being able to handle any kind of in-app purchases with any payment outside of the regular Apple Pay flow would be violating Apple's terms and would lead to the removal of the app from the App Store. That is likely also the reason where up until last week there was no iOS version available for the Phoneum apps at all. Now I checked today and there is a link to an Apple version, however it's not available in Ukraine or Germany, so I'm not able to install it. Maybe it's available to US users, and I'm curious to see if there are any differences within the iOS version compared to the Android version. But for the purpose of this video, we are therefore forced to stick with the Android versions of all Phoneum applications. Another aspect or another reason why I personally see that there will be some struggles in the future for Phoneum and all its project is that the app, so for example Crypto Treasure, an app where you can basically play some game and earn gold and eventually also Phoneum, actually rewards you for doing certain tasks. Now one of these tasks is, for example, called flipping a coin, where you have to press your screen 15 times or so and you receive in-game gold, which eventually may turn into Phoneum. And the problem with that is that providing users with any kind of financial reward for completing tasks is also a violation of Apple's terms and would therefore also lead to issues with the app on iOS. Right now that app is also only available on Android, and apparently within the Android versions, and therefore in Google Play Store it is not an issue. I'm not sure if the Google Play Store has terms in place that would prevent or prohibit developers from accepting payments outside of the Google Pay flow. However, time will tell, and if that's the case, Phoneum would still have the option to provide their apps as APK download packages directly outside of the Google Play Store. But in any case, it will definitely mean that, in my opinion, the future of Phoneum on iOS devices will not be as bright as it could be. And on Android devices, it remains to be seen if Google or the Google Play Store has anything against the way users get rewarded for just completing tasks and for how users can pay with Phoneum in the app for certain things. Now, I know all of that sounds quite bleak and like the app wouldn't have a positive outlook ahead, but in the end, it's just stepstones along the way for the Phoneum project that they will have to figure out, and likely many adjustments that they would have to make for their iOS versions to actually comply with the requirements for the App Store. However, the fact still is that Phoneum is already a real token, so it's not some future project that may or may not get a value. It already has a value, it's already listed on an exchange, so you can already transfer and exchange the tokens you earn into other cryptocurrency or fiat. And they already have a bunch of products, so not only the Phoneum app where you can earn Phoneum, but also Crypto Treasure and other mobile games where you can then earn more Phoneum and eventually even use your Phoneum for in-app purchases. So unlike many of the other apps that we reviewed recently, with the exception of Geocache, for example, Phoneum is already a real cryptocurrency, or in that case a token, and it actually already has a value. You can already use it on exchanges, and so things that in other projects that are not yet real would be a red flag are perfectly fine within Phoneum. To understand what I'm talking about, let's take a look at the Phoneum app right here. And as you can see in the green box at the bottom, I'm currently running a mining session, and each mining session, unlike in Pi or B network and so on, lasts 7 days. So you don't have to push a button once per day, but once per week. And as you also can see, my mining session is about to end in 6.5 hours, and I earned an astonishing amount of 20 cents. Now that's obviously not a lot of money, but if you then again consider that all I had to do was open the app last week and press a button, it's 20 cents for doing nothing. And assuming that the Phoneum project establish itself and other mobile applications also start using the Phoneum token for in-app purchases and rewards and so on, then the value of Phoneum might rise in the future. So the 20 cents that I earned now would possibly turn or could possibly turn into way more money, assuming the worth or the value of the token increases. Now, one thing that usually would be a red flag in all the other projects we reviewed, like for example Eagle Network, would be in-app purchases to increase your mining speed. Phoneum also offers that. However, the core difference is that the Phoneum token already exists. So if you pay real money in the Phoneum app to get more out of the 7-day mining period, so more than the 20 cents that I earned last week with Phoneum, then you actually already know for sure that the tokens that you earn are worth something and that you're able to spend them or exchange them on the Probit exchange and then spend them. However, there's no guarantee that if you spend $3, $5 or whatever the price currently is for the in-app upgrades, that you actually will end up with a profit. In my opinion, it only makes sense to spend any money for mining speed boosts if you believe that the Phoneum project can establish itself on the market, and so other apps would start using Phoneum tokens in their apps for, again, payments and rewards and so on, and if you believe that the value of the Phoneum token will increase therefore over time. If you're not sure about that, or if you don't believe in that, then simply do not spend money on the app and be happy with whatever amount you can get for free by pressing the button once per week. So to summarize this part so far, Phoneum is already a real token. It's not some project that may or may not become a real cryptocurrency in the future, but it already has a value. Now the value is quite low right now, but over time, if the project can achieve or accumulate a huge active user base and get more mobile developers to use the Phoneum token in their apps for different purposes, then that value may or may not increase in the future. You can already exchange your Phoneum tokens currently on the Probit exchange. Maybe or likely in the future, if there's more demand and more users that use Phoneum, it may also be listed on other exchanges like Binance and so on. Unlike other apps, your earning or mining sessions last 7 days. So if you push the button, you can forget about it for 7 days and then simply come back and look at the balance that you generated during that period. Now I want to point out, just like in every other mobile application, there is no real mining going on your phone, which means Phoneum also doesn't drain your battery, and it means after pressing the button, you can simply close or quit the Phoneum app and you will still receive your Phoneum tokens for that 7-day period. The reason for that is that Apple and Google both prohibit apps from actually mining cryptocurrency on your phone. So any app that mines on your phone does so either not at all, or it happens in some kind of cloud solution. So for example, in Phoneum, you press the button, your phone reports to the Phoneum servers, and they start your 7-day mining session in quotes where you get your coins credited, but there is no mining going on your phone. With that, let's take a look at other aspects of the app. What we notice here, we have other options to earn Phoneum. So if we click on that, it would open a web browser, and there you would see basically advertising for install different apps or do other tasks, and you would receive Phoneum in return. So basically the Phoneum project would receive some kind of commission when you complete those tasks, and you in return would receive Phoneum tokens. Now besides that advertising based earnings, you can also stake Phoneum tokens, although the minimum for that is 20,000 PHT. So it would take some time to accumulate that amount unless you just buy it on the Probit exchange and transfer it into your wallet. However, once you start staking, you see below that you receive an interest on the staked amount. So basically you lock in that amount of tokens, at least 20,000, up to how much ever you have. And then depending on that amount, you receive a certain percentage of interest also in tokens again, which is a great way to basically watch your crypto balances increase. Although it also has the risk, if the value of the cryptocurrency drops during the time, you may end up with more coins or tokens, but you may end up also with less actual value in US dollar or in other cryptocurrencies. So it's kind of like if you believe in a project and you don't plan to sell or use your tokens or coins, then staking, if it's offered somewhere, definitely makes sense because you get extra tokens or coins. And if you don't believe in a project, or if you anyway plan to sell your coins or tokens, then staking might not be for you. Anyway, with that, let's go back to the home screen. And the last few things that we then see on the home screen is that you can deposit Phoneum from any other wallet that supports Phoneum and where you have a Phoneum balance. And another way to earn Phoneum is by inviting users. And as explained in that pop-up there, if you use the invitation code and link that you can find in the description or the first pinned comment down below, you actually receive 200 Phoneum to start with, so you don't have to start from zero. And I also would receive a bonus over time if you complete a certain amount of mining sessions, so if you press the button every week for a certain amount of times. Now there are a few other menu items in the Phoneum app that I want to quickly cover, starting with the transaction history that is going to list all the deposits and withdrawals and other transactions that you do or make with your Phoneum balance, and a chart that shows you the current Phoneum value based on the last 30 days. So you see how the price developed during the last 30-day period. And obviously a main menu that allows you to log in, log out, and offers you a couple of other shortcuts and features as well. Many of them just going to other parts of the app that we've already covered. Now that we've got that out of the way, so we know how the Phoneum app works, you know that you can use the link in the description below to sign up and get 200 Phoneum for free to get started. And we also know that the project is legit and serves a purpose. Let's look at one of their mobile applications where Phoneum actually plays a role. And for that, I'm going to share my screen again, and you are going to look at the Crypto Treasure app that's currently available on Android. There may be an iOS version coming, but again, as mentioned initially, I think with iOS they will have to make a lot of changes to their apps to get them approved and compliant with the guidelines and terms for the Apple App Store. Now, if we look at that app, you already notice there's a huge wheel, and the important part within that app are actually the quests. If we go on quests, you see that I already started some of them, and there's a quest, for example, called Flip a Coin, and I can click on it and I can click Start Quest and confirm that I want to start it. And then you see a coin, and what I have to do is I have to click a certain number of times, or if you use it on your real phone and not in an emulator like I'm doing right now, you would have to press on your screen a couple of times until you fill that bar. Now I'm going to fast forward to the end of that clicking so you don't have to wait too long. And there we go. So as you see, I received 20 gold and 20 XP. Now gold is not Phoneum, so it works some way differently. Honestly, I haven't looked too deep into that game, but I assume that somehow for your in-game activity, you also eventually earn Phoneum. Now, if I click collect, it might start an advertising on my phone like it does right now. One aspect that I didn't mention so far is, as you can see, or if you pay attention, you'll notice that you can also see my Phoneum balance in the bottom right corner, and it increases over time. Now the quests that we have here, as mentioned, are different in nature. So we have that flip a coin, we have dig up a treasure, spin the wheel, open chests. And an interesting aspect is, while the first time I triggered the flip a coin, I had to do it 15 times, and now during recording this video, I had to do it more often. So it means it's likely that over time those quests become harder or require more of your time to actually earn more. Now, I already spinned the wheel a few times today when I tested the app. Now let's see what happens when I spin it now. We can see this time I actually got 5 Phoneum credited, so it's an easy way. And in other times, you'll likely only receive gold. And as you notice, based on the loading screen, there may be the chance that in between, like now, you'll actually get to see another ad again. So while it's an easy way for you to eventually increase your Phoneum balance, it also means that you'll have to spend a lot of time because there will always be 30 seconds or longer advertisements in between from time to time. Now, do I think it's worth it for you to spend your time pushing that button, spinning the wheel, flipping the coin, or whatever else you can do in the app? Personally, no. Considering the low value of Phoneum, I think you can spend your time better doing different things. However, I still think using Phoneum and especially the cloud earning app, which we looked at earlier in the video, makes sense because all you have to do is push a button once per week. If you really believe in the Phoneum project, you can also spend some real money to increase your earnings rate. And if you're fully convinced and you have a lot of time, then you can also use all their mobile apps and basically complete all the tasks that they offer to earn even more Phoneum. In any case, you don't have anything to lose. Unlike other projects, it's already real and you can actually transfer and use your tokens and they already have a value. So it's one of the apps where I can only say 100% legit. I recommend you use the link in the description down below to create your free account, get 200 Phoneum tokens for free by using my referral code, and then just open the app once per week to push that button. And with that, I think I'm going to end today's video. As always, thanks for watching. If you have any questions whatsoever, either leave them in the comments down below or jump on our community Discord server. A link to that can also be found in the description and the first pinned comment down below, and ask your questions there. Thanks for watching. See you in one of my other videos. Till then, bye-bye.